welcome back to Where Are They Now here at Jazz FM 91. This is a very special series where we get to catch up with some of the artists who have been through our education outreach programs. My name is Jelani Watson, and I'm the Education Outreach Officer here at the station, and I'm pleased to be joined by Agneya Chikte. Agneya is an Indo-Canadian percussionist and composer who approaches rhythm as a meeting point between cultures. Raised in Western India and now based in Canada, he weaves South Asian rhythmic cycles, West African groove traditions, and contemporary improvisation into a sound that is visceral, expansive, and deeply human, balancing intimacy and with instinct. His self-titled debut album, Agneya, will be released September 18th and marks his emergence as a band leader after more than a decade as a sought-after collaborator across jazz, global, and improvised music scenes. Produced by Juno Award winner Jeremy Ledbetter and featuring an international ensemble, the record unfolds as a borderless sonic journey, tracing an artistic path shaped across India, Canada, and Europe. Agneya, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Elani, for having me, and thanks for that bio.
It's an
awesome.
amazing bio. I learned a new word. So for those listening,
Eponymous.
It's eponymous,
It's
which
eponymous.
means self-titled. That's a beautiful word, man. So thank you for joining us. For those who don't know too much about Agneya, Agneya was a part of Jazzology, which is supported by RBC Foundation all the way back in 2018. The 2018-19 series when he was a student at Humber College. We've also had Agneya back in previous years to help us out on our alumni committee, as well as participating in the selection panel for Discover Women in Jazz for a couple of years. So Agneya, thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions to the station as well.
Thank you very much. It's always been a pleasure, and I'm happy to support and be supported by Jazz FM.
Amazing. So, if you're okay with it, I'd love to get to know a little bit about your start with music. Where did the music bug come from?
Of course, yeah. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, especially with my debut album coming out, and just trying to understand where it started and where it comes from. It was never really a serious part of my life.
Yeah.
It was. And when I think about it, maybe my parents were just neutral about it for a long time. They were happy to have me involved in music in some way, and it was never like too serious, or I wasn't taking it too lightly, you know.
Right.
And I, when I was pretty young, I would say 9 or 10 years old, which is actually not so young for professional musicians nowadays. But for me at that point, I started taking some tabla lessons. In Western India, where we were living at that time, and I think through that there was definitely a subconscious building of the rhythmic narrative in my head and understanding Indian classical music. However, I have to clarify, like I'm not a tabla player, and I don't call myself one. I do very much play tabla, and I practice all the time, but there are incredible tabla players around the world who are dedicated to that craft. It was maybe around high school where I happened to be in a school where there was music lessons, which is not very common in India. And there was like drums and guitar and stuff like that. And, as a 9th grader or 10th grader, I just thought playing drums would be so cool.
Yeah.
And, looking back, actually, the late 90s, if I'm not wrong, was the burst of like music television into India, right?
Okay.
And so thinking back, it makes perfect sense that I was wanting to do this, because while there was a lot of folkloric and classical music like casually around me, I had an older brother, and he was watching Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and Korn and all of these like metal bands on MTV that were blowing up in that time.
Right.
And so I would like sneak into his room and like sit there with him and watch all of this music, big festival stages, the drummer like hitting hard. And so there's like, when I think about it, clearly it makes sense that sort of got combined with the folkloric music. And then I started playing drum set a little bit seriously in high school. I don't want to take too long with this, but it's just kind of crazy to look back on. When I decided that I wanted to, and I still remember, I told my mom, I was like, I want to study drum set seriously. And she was like, cool, let's find you a teacher.
That's awesome.
And we started looking at some options. We tested out a few places, a few people. And again, the infrastructure for Indian music is very strong and at a very high level.
Gotcha.
But the infrastructure for studying and playing music, especially at that point, 20 years ago, was not that strong in India.
Right.
We started looking, and we found like the kind of main drummer in the city of Pune, who's now a very close friend of mine. His name is Varun Venkat, who I owe a lot to, by the way. And it just so happened that I started studying with him seriously. And he was studying with djembe grandmaster Mamadi Kaita from Guinea.
Okay.
And he was, traveling to Guinea, and he studied with Mamadi for almost 20 years before we lost Mamadi. And Varun was deep in his West African music phase.
Right.
So kind of my first serious study in music as a teenager with half a working brain was understanding West African music and the djembe tradition, especially from Guinea, Mali, and Sierra Leone, And suddenly that became a big part of my life. So anyway, all of this combined is how I got started. And there's just, when I look back on it, I'm so grateful for all of that experience. And it's just impossible to box music,
For sure.
I know we love to judge and we love to put labels on everything, but just like how humans are complicated creatures, I think your art or your music is even more complicated.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's how I got started.
I'm noticing a theme which you carried into your debut album. How many years later since high school is it?
Yeah, many years.
A little over a decade.
Yeah.
And that's just the melding of musical traditions, and it's beautiful to see that started at an early age. So you grew up in India, and then you decided to move to Toronto and attend Humber College. Do you mind telling me a little bit of why that decision?
For sure, yeah. I was so I guess continuing from where I left off, at some point, performing in clubs and bars and, playing a little bit of all kinds of music in India, independent music, I thought maybe there is a future, there's something you can do here. There's a path you can carve out for yourself. And I started to take that seriously. It so happened that there was a bunch of Canadian musicians, and they were in India. Maybe this is 2014, 15, around that time.
Right.
And they were teaching at a private music school in New Delhi called Global Music Institute. And I saw them play, it's sort of like if a big name comes through Toronto, you don't miss the show, right? You're like, oh yeah, this person's coming through.
Yeah.
So for us, for a lot of people, like playing improvised or jazz music in India, it was like that. If you saw a jazz band coming through, it didn't matter. They could be French, they could be Canadian, they could be American.
Yeah.
You would just go and try to catch the gig, to see what was happening. And so this like sort of faculty band from Delhi, which was at that point mainly all Canadian, so and Larnell Lewis. And if you see what you like, apply to Humber.
Yeah.
And this was 2015.
Amazing.
And I remember like it was so last minute. I applied during the summer vacation before the fall.
Okay. Yeah.
And Mark replied to my email. I remember I had to send in a physical DVD as an audition tape. And Mark replied being like, hey, we're already on summer break, but hopefully somebody from admissions get back to you. I'll check your DVD, don't worry. I'll get back to you. And they got back, and within 3 months, my parents were like, you're going to Canada? And so it just happened very, very quickly. But looking back, honestly, one of the best decisions I made for myself and for the music. So that's how I ended up at Humber.
No, we're excited to have you, man.
Thank you. It's been amazing. And like a lot of people maybe across the world don't know this. We know this. Toronto has an incredible music scene.
Yes.
And of course, there are difficulties and challenges with making it sustainable. But in terms of the people, the venues and the kind of people making it happen, even behind the scenes, I think it's incredible in the city.
For sure. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit quickly about your time at Humber. So you started in 2015. and then we met up with you in 2018
Yeah.
for Jazzology. What was going around? What was going on with you around 2018, and how was that experience for you?
It really was maybe the first breakthrough point as to start to think of uh, music as expression.
Right.
Because, when I first moved and there was so much to do to just learn the craft, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
to learn, Steve Smith says this, you have to first learn your instrument and then you gotta learn the music. So it was so long to be able to feel comfortable or even partially confident on the instrument. I think 2018 with my final recital, my bachelor's recital, which at Humber used to happen in your third year, right? Because your fourth year was a
Okay.
recording project.
Right.
And so it was, you have to play original music or arrange music yourself. And I was studying with Larnell that year.
Amazing.
So I really had a great source of mentorship. And we were sort of arranging this concert. And it was the first time I truly was able to figure out what is it that I want to say.
Yeah.
And I think especially today it means a lot because two tunes that were maybe skeletons at that point
Mm-hmm.
are now on the record.
Amazing.
Over time they've changed completely, but
Yeah.
the thought process began that year.
Yeah.
And also there was like a medley I'd arranged with my teacher from India, Varun Venkat, and with James Hill on keys. And that medley I still perform with my band because it was just a really cool
Okay.
arrangement that was
Yeah,
born out
yeah.
of that recital.
Yeah.
And so it was a great sort of start to thinking about the artistic angle of things and not just as a craftsperson, right?
Yeah.
And of course we had the jazzology interview, which I think I really had a lot of great mentors at Humber at that point, and I'm very thankful for that period especially. And we did the interview. Heather is such a generous person.
Yeah.
She gave me a lot of time and advice and continues to till this day. And maybe it was the start of me trying to understand also the industry world a little bit.
Right.
2018, I was also awarded the Music Count Scholarship by the Juno Awards and the
Yeah.
Canadian Recording Academy. And so that sort of allowed me to understand, okay, outside of playing the drums, what does one maybe have to do in this industry? Um, am I convinced or am I happy about all of that? Maybe not, but
Fair.
at least I know what has to be done, or
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
starting to, or I started to understand back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So the pandemic happened. And
The
then I
pandemic
got to
happened.
join the team here at Jazz FM. And a few years ago, I got to meet you as we were working on an alumni committee project together.
Yes.
And we got to delve into some of those things outside of music that artists have to deal with.
Yeah.
So we got to dig into your experience a little bit there as well. We also had you back to participate as a panel member for Discover Women in Jazz and be a part of the selection for a couple of years. And through all of that time, you were developing your own music. So now we're here. Your album is releasing in September. Can you tell me a little bit about the artistic journey of that album from 2018 until now?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for many years, maybe I was trying to just get gigs and,
Yeah.
earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, it became an easy excuse to put everything aside.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I don't have time to write music.
Right.
But in honesty, I was not being a good writer. Like I was not practicing composing. I was not consistently writing. I was just not being disciplined about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was easy to say, oh, I just don't have time. And we truly don't have a lot of time. As musicians, we have to do so much.
Yeah.
So it can be a really challenging process. And it's funny you bring up the alumni committee, the artist development network that we had, because there was Jesse Ryan on it, who
Yes.
also I consider a close friend and a mentor. And he had mentioned that truly you want to, as knowing me, he said you want to be able to get to an artistic level where you're expressing and sharing your own music. And at that point, I almost found it a little bit offensive. You know, I was like, "Are you saying me playing drums is not good enough?" Of course, he didn't mean it that way. And I'm truly grateful for him now, after all these years, to sort of light that spark in my head at that point, because for me, there's nothing as an artist. There's nothing as fulfilling as expressing your own music. There are incredible moments playing all kinds of music and performing, as you know very well. But there's something special about being able to express what you want to say. And so when I started actively thinking about it, I think I want to acknowledge that good things take time.
Yes.
And I did not force myself to write a record. I just forced myself to develop habits.
Right.
I said, okay, I'm going to start to create. I didn't force myself to be like, okay, this is the deadline and I'm going to have to release this in this way and I'm going to get this and that and that. It was more like, okay, what do I really want to say? And it takes a lot of time. And it took a lot of time and I was okay with it. And, especially at that point, colleagues and friends are like churning out records. and I'm in awe of people who can do that. And I respect that a lot. But I also just want to say, like, if it takes you a lot of time to do good things, that's okay. And sometimes it just takes a while. And slowly just thinking about these kind of things, trying to create a practice of creating and writing music, going back to all of those things started coming back, a lot of my studies in tabla, a lot of my studies in konokol, the time I got to spend with Sridhar Parthasarathi in Mumbai, like great mridangam player, all my time with Varun, of course, playing West African music, all the teachers that he brought down from Africa and Europe to India. He runs now Tam Tam Manding India, which is the official djembe academy in India.
Amazing.
He's the only one to do that, so we had access through him to a lot of West African masters, which I'm so grateful for. And all of that combined with a really, really powerful, solid Canadian jazz education. And through this, I just started to have ideas that felt like this makes sense to me now. And this sounds like me. This doesn't sound like me trying to sound like something.
Right.
And I think I'm so happy and proud to present the album because it took a long time and it helped me slowly build my confidence as a writer.
Right.
It didn't happen overnight. And I think I feel especially strongly about that fact now. That, hey, these 8 pieces on this record, it would be impossible for me to choose one favorite.
Right. Fair. I was listening to it again last night and this morning, and I couldn't choose a favorite either.
Thank you.
I don't know how you narrowed it down to 8 songs. It's conversation for another day.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a few more. Like, it's not like I wrote a lot of music. but what I like is, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine in the city who I grew up with, he's an advertising person. He keeps giving me tips and guidance on advertising. He has one favorite song.
Okay.
My manager Hannah, who made this happen in many ways, she has one favorite song, which is not the same one.
Right.
My older brother has one favorite song, which is a completely different one. The mixing engineer Andrew Mullen, he has a 4th favorite song. So I think I'm just happy about that.
That's
the
amazing.
Fact that different people are connecting with different pieces.
Beautiful.
And in many ways, I think if you know me, it sounds like me. It really sounds like me, which I'm really happy to say. And the goal or the hope is that for people who don't know me, through the record will know me.
Yeah. And you can really hear the influence of all the different cultures and music traditions that you've had the pleasure to experience and be a part of throughout the record. And you did some schooling in Germany.
Yes, sir.
Was it a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And I guess that's where you met one half of your ensemble?
Yes, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience doing some school in Germany?
For sure, yeah. I think that was the point where we spoke a lot about, I guess, 2018 and Humber and like the start of this journey.
Yeah.
And that was really the end of the journey, like
awesome.
End of this project especially because, excuse me, in 2023, I got the opportunity and a full scholarship to go study in Germany,
Yeah.
do my master's at the University of Arts in Berlin, which is really an incredible multidisciplinary program with a lot of different arts and music. And they also have a really strong jazz institute.
Ah.
And so I was studying there, and I got to travel across Europe and do some exchange semesters and play with a lot of different people. And the whole master program was around artistic entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So it was sort of like goes without saying that you have to be able to play.
Yeah.
But now, like, what are you trying to say, and how can you push that through a network of artists and musicians?
Yeah.
And so it really just gave me the mental freedom and time to be able to focus on the music and to finish writing everything. I have to acknowledge that there's a lot of support that came along the way. Before I left, I had a Toronto Arts Council creation grant, which got this started as well. When I was in Germany, a lot of my colleagues, professors, friends were part of the project, also helping me co-write. Sometimes I'd be like, "Oh, Jelani, like, can you just check these chords out once and change a little bit? You'll give me your advice quickly." I'll be like, "Oh, maybe this sounds better."
Yeah.
So there was like really an iterative process. Every rehearsals, the songs kept changing.
Got you.
And that really happened thanks to being in school.
Yeah.
Because that's nearly impossible to do without being in school.
For sure.
Because the environment is such that you're like constantly improving, you're constantly changing stuff.
Right.
There's less pressure. Because of the scholarship, I didn't have to work as much, so I had time to live. And And so I think a lot of support is needed, especially in the arts, and I was grateful to have some of that. And so through this University of Arts in Berlin degree and my time in Berlin, Norway, Amsterdam, I was able to finish the project.
Amazing.
And about last July, after my master's recital, I moved back, and I thought that it would be awesome to have. I already had a chance to do like a demo session with a band in Berlin, and so I thought it would be cool to have that part of the journey also reflect on the project.
Amazing.
And so it's kind of like it's about half and half. It's half of my European band and half my Toronto band.
Yeah.
But really, I don't think of it that way. It's more the community.
Yeah.
There's like 15 people on the record.
Amazing.
And it's mentors, friends, supporters, collaborators over years who have been part of the journey or helped me grow or seen me grow or played with me or given me tips along the way.
Yeah. And
so it's really, I think of it as a sort of big friends project.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it's funny that it's called just Agneya, which is my name, ironically. But I think the point was that it really helped me become me. Through the support of everybody involved.
Awesome. Yeah. And you've had a busy summer so far.
Yes, sir.
Still a busy summer to come.
Yeah.
But so far you've been named the Toronto Arts Council Breakthrough Artist
Toronto
of
Arts
the Year.
Foundation. Yeah.
Toronto Arts Foundation Breakthrough Artists of the Year. You also close out the Toronto Jazz Fest this year.
Yeah.
And you have a very exciting show coming up. You want to give us a little sneak peek?
For sure, yeah. So we're doing like a Toronto release party on August 9th, Sunday, August 9th at Drome Taberna. That's also a venue, I've had a relationship for many years, and they're such big supporters of interesting music in the city. And I'm grateful to be curating that evening. So
amazing.
So 6:30 onwards, until about 11 p.m. on Sunday, August 9th. We'll have the wonderful Napi Tapi duo, which is just incredible, like divine, ancestral, traditional Zimbabwean music, Mbira music. Moyo Mutamba and Memory Makuri will be opening the night. Then we'll play the album down, the full record, with my band, and then we'll have a closing act as well, which is a surprise right now, soon to be announced. Yeah.
Awesome. So if you want to hear the album before September 18th, this is the only time to do so.
That's the last Toronto show, actually.
There we go.
We still have a few dates across Ontario and Quebec coming up.
Amazing.
But the last Toronto show is Drome, August 9th.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier if you are watching or listening right now, and you are the first to email Agneya, and I'm going to give you his email address right now. If you're the first to email Agneya, you'll win 2 free tickets to the show.
Or just free tickets. If you're 3 of them, that's fine as well.
There we go.
But the first person to email.
Yes, and the email for that is going to be manager@agneyachikte.com, and we're purposely not spelling it so people can do their homework. So if you send an email to manager@agneyachikte.com, if you were the first person to do so, expressing interest in attending the show, you will receive some free tickets to the show. Again, it's Sunday, August 9th, 6:30 p.m. till it's done.
Till it's done.
There we go.
Yeah.
And while we're doing it, I'll mention another giveaway. Agneya has generously offered to give away some vinyl. So we'll be doing a contest on our Instagram page. Look out for that early next week. You'll get all the details then. In the meantime, make sure you're following Jazz FM 91 as well as Agneya Chikte on Instagram. Agneya, we are slowly running out of time. I do want to ask you, if you could give some advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I would say in the arts, I think, if you want to enter the arts, and why it is so is a problem for my older self. So I won't get into that for my younger self. But in the arts, unfortunately or fortunately, there is no clear path.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you really have to be willing to carve out a path for yourself.
Yeah.
And whether that's a perspective that you have, whether that's a headspace thing, whether that's understanding that you need to be supportive and have supportive people around you, right? Some advice that I was given was, don't try to be nice, be kind, you know. Genuinely, if you're a kind person, the kindness is going to come back to you.
Yeah.
And that just means, I think, to me, being nice without expectation.
Right.
You know, which is also an upbringing thing. And
I
think, however you look at that, if you're willing to carve out your own path in a way that uplifts community, I think it all comes together. And it takes its time.
That's amazing.
But it comes together. And so I think that's the one big thing, that it's not straightforward.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Awesome. I love that. It's beautiful. Other than that, again, we have the Toronto release party happening August 9th.
Yeah.
If for some reason you do not win the free tickets, you can get tickets at or on Agneya's website, and that's agneyachikte.com.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what do you have coming up for you this year?
If I can just say, like, right now we have 2 singles out on Spotify and the streaming services. And a 3rd single comes out on August 9th at the show. But I also want to say that the album is available for pre-order on Bandcamp.
Beautiful.
And so you can pre-order the digital download, the vinyl or the CD.
Yeah.
And then, or the other way is to listen to it live. And we'll have a few pre-release physical copies for sale as well at the show. Which I'm thankful for. I didn't really know how it would go, but sometimes, you know, we've played about 8 shows and we have about 7 more to go.
Yeah.
When I say at the show that, hey, if you like this, the only way to get it is a physical copy, right?
Yeah.
And I know not everybody has a record player. I don't. But if you want to, it's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's in a way taking back some control from the online streaming market. And people have been responding very positively, which I'm very thankful for. Amazing. You know, we played a wonderful festival organized by the Roxy Theatre and the Arts Alliance, Summer Folk in Owen Sound. And sometimes in the middle of it, I'll just be like, what are we doing? You know, this is kind of a weird global jazz thing. Like, am I the right fit for this festival?
Right.
And it's such a refreshing reminder to realize that people love music. People love good music. It doesn't matter what it is or where you're from. Like, it's cross-border. And we almost sold out of vinyl and
That's
CDs
amazing.
In Owen Sound. I think it's really, that city especially is a big center of the arts. in Ontario, and a lot of people might not know that. So
Mhm.
from that point of view, I just feel very grateful to push the music around,
Yeah.
bring it to people who otherwise may not have had a chance to hear something like that.
Right.
We continue on. We play in Hamilton August 7th,
Mhm.
and then we go actually August 13th to Minden, Ontario, in the Haliburton
Okay.
County.
Yeah.
August 14th is Hotel Wolf Island near Kingston.
Got you.
15th in Ottawa at Night Out, and August 16th in Montreal at
Okay.
Las La Rosa. And we sort of end the run at the Markham Jazz Festival
Beautiful.
on August 23rd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all on my website online. There's a lot coming up, but
Amazing.
it's really, if you can come out to check it out live, because the record is great, but as you know, the
Yep.
music lives live.
Exactly.
And the way to
exactly.
experience it and to really feel all of those rhythms in your body.
Yeah.
I think it's a live performance.
For sure. Awesome. And you started to let us know a little bit already, but what are the best ways for people to keep up with you?
Instagram, Agneya Music. I tried posting a little bit on TikTok.
Yeah. Me too.
I couldn't really last. I tried posting a little bit on Facebook. Couldn't really last. But there's a Facebook page that has all
Okay.
the updates connected to my Instagram.
Okay, I was about
Yeah,
to say that's yeah.
So that's done.
There we go.
So Agneya on Facebook, Agneya Music on Instagram. I've been posting a lot on YouTube as well. So
Awesome.
add Agneya on YouTube. There's a lot of studio videos. I think 7 out of 8 songs have studio videos.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of video content as well. So I would say yeah, and of course, you can sign up for my newsletter
Yep.
through my website as well.
Yeah.
But Instagram and newsletter, I would say, are the best places.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, with that, I think I will let you go. Thank you so much for being here, Agneya.
Thank you very much, Alani, and thank you
Yeah.
to Jazz FM one more time, and shout out to John Saba as well, and thank you for all you guys do here.
Of
It's
course.
great
of
to be
course.
back.
Yes, sir. And just want to say thank you to all those who tuned in. Once again, this is Where Are They Now here at Jazz FM 91, and our guest for today